Also, like, stop chasing big brands. I remember getting my score in the first semester and I was like, shit, my life is over.
In India, if you want to do your MBA, it's going to be the CAT score.
Yeah.
So guys, stop chasing grades, and I think try and build a more holistic.
Especially the world that we're in right now, there is so much for you to figure out and explore. It
And
doesn't
many times,
matter.
if you are in
Yeah.
a large engine,
Yeah.
you get to play a very tiny role, and you actually
Exactly.
never get the full picture.
View of networking is building relationships with people and having a genuine sense of curiosity.
Right.
University of Oxford is becoming the center of social impact and innovation.
So hello guys, welcome here to our channel. We are here at the State Business School at University of Oxford, and we have a lovely lady with us, Arshita, who's taken out time to share her journey of making it to the MBA of a very reputed university. Welcome Arshita, welcome for this to this conversation, and thank you so much for taking out time.
Of course, it's so good to have you here at Oxford, and I'm very excited for this conversation. I've been here for more than 2 months now, and I'm excited to share my learnings and experiences so far.
As we were walking in, we are right now in the cafeteria of the business school.
Yeah.
Everybody, she's like a celebrity, guys, here.
No.
Everybody was waving at her, high-fiving, and sharing greetings. It's so amazing to see that you have made so many friends
Of
in
course.
the 2 months.
Yeah.
But Arshita, just give us a bit of background of yourself. Where are you from? What were you doing in India?
Yeah.
And what got you to think about doing an MBA?
Sure. Firstly, thanks for having me. I am Harshita, and I am from Lucknow, which is a small city in India, very popular for its food. But I've been in
To
Delhi,
Nick, yes.
But I've been in Delhi
Yeah.
for over 10 years, and I'm a social entrepreneur. I was always very passionate about how marketing can be used, but for social causes.
Right.
So how can we get people more interested in solving for climate? How can we make people more aware of the gender issues we have? So I always had an inkling towards that. I did my undergrad in economics in Delhi University, and
College in Delhi University?
Ramjas.
Ramjas College.
Yes. And that's where I got introduced to Enactus, which
Okay.
is a social entrepreneurship society. It's a global society that works on like some of these
Absolutely,
issues.
yeah.
And that was my introduction to social entrepreneurship. And that's when I started MASH after graduation. I was very passionate about using my skills in marketing and consumerism to look into this. So that's what I've been doing for about 5 years now. But at every point in your career, you feel like, you're not growing enough. You feel like
Right.
you want to like learn more. And I feel like I always wanted to study abroad because I felt like that is what is going to give me a lot of exposure and expose me to different cultures, perspectives, and, really help me understand what's happening in the world. So I always knew I wanted to do an MBA.
Right.
But the question was where and when
Yeah.
and how, right? How do I fund myself? How do I get into a good
Especially
university?
that you had been working in the social sector.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how are you going to get a return on that,
Exactly.
expensive degree as
Exactly. So it was a tough decision. And also I feel like at this point we have so many options in terms of like, degrees. So it was a lot of thinking whether I want to do a specialized course like
Right.
MSc in marketing. Do I want to get into an entrepreneurship course? Or do I do an MBA? So I would say that so far I feel like it's been the best decision to do an MBA and to
Awesome.
do it at Oxford.
Best decision, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy to sort of dissect more into that, but
So,
that's my
tell us a
journey.
little bit about your undergrad. Were you like really like the top of your class, like in your high school? Like, were you at the top of your class? Just tell us, how were you as an academic student?
Okay, so very interesting because I was quite into academics in high school. I was, the top scorer in my school. I was the head girl. I was active in every sort of competition out there. So debating and MUNs and sports. So, which was also when I completed high school, it was a question for me whether I go into Delhi University or do I go for a undergrad abroad. And I
Right.
applied to NUS in Singapore, I applied to SMU, I got into those colleges, I got into Ashoka as well. But then it was a very high cost at the time, and I feel like personally for me, the advice that I got from my mentors was that an international degree makes more sense when you're mature enough to like make the most out of it.
Right.
So that's why I decided to do my undergrad in Delhi University. And again, I feel like at the time, it was a good decision for me because I was coming from a smaller city. So Delhi in itself was a little
Right.
overwhelming for me. it again felt like, because India is so diverse
Right.
and we have people from all sorts of backgrounds, and Delhi University does attract very good talent. So I would say that I went through a lot of different phases in my undergrad. It's funny because all of us are like really good scorers in our high school, and then we come to DU.
And then everybody's a high scorer.
Everybody is a high scorer, right? Like
Yeah.
the playing field is very different.
Yes.
And I remember getting my score in the first semester, and I was like, shit, my life is over. I'm gonna fail.
Yeah.
And it was quite a shocker, honestly. But I think you figure out in time what your priorities are. And in my undergrad, I realized that my priority is probably not to be the highest scorer, but rather to expose myself to every opportunity out there.
Right.
Because DU, very similar to Oxford actually, like University of Oxford, is a collegiate system.
Right.
So you're not really restricted to your own college, but to the entire ecosystem. And I think the value lies in figuring out how do you make the most out of those opportunities, how do you get involved in these global forums and societies, how do you like do more. And I'm glad I took that decision. So
Right.
I mean, over time, I did figure out how to balance my, academics and other priorities. But I feel like it's very important to realize that score is like not all that matters,
Absolutely.
and especially if you want to do an MBA abroad. Your academic is a very small part of your
Well,
application.
frankly, in India, if you want to do your MBA, it's going to be the CAT score.
Yeah.
So guys, stop chasing grades, and I think try and build a more holistic, view of the world, a more holistic view of what you want to do. So it's amazing to hear that you were really good academically at your high school level.
Yeah.
You were head girl. You were part of sports. So you had a very all-rounded performance there.
Yeah.
But then at college level, your academics, of course, I'm sure by the end of the 3 years would have been good, but not at the top
fine.
of the class.
Yeah.
Right. And but you had done a lot many more things.
Yes.
So as we proceed in this conversation, we're going to understand more about what were those things, and what got her that acceptance letter from State Business School. But before we go in there, let's explore a little bit around the 5 years of work that you did.
Yeah.
Right. What were the companies, organizations that you worked with?
Yeah.
What was the kind of role, and why did you wait for 5 years? Because I know a lot of these guys watching, they're just fresh out of college and they want to do their MBA.
Yeah.
Right. I did my MBA after 4 years
Yeah.
of getting like some experience. What was your thought? So tell us, what did you do in your work experience, and why wait 5 years?
Yeah. Okay, I know it's really tempting to get into an MBA fresh out of college, but I wouldn't recommend it at all. I feel like, especially the world that we're in right now, there is so much for you to figure out and explore. And I know maybe like 2 decades back, 3 decades back, it was a good decision to just get into an MBA immediately. But now it's really important for you to like understand what do you want to do with your life.
Right.
And I feel, so when I graduated, I first worked in marketing. I was working with Ogilvy for a couple of years. Then I realized that I don't like the entire consumerism space. So I got into Mensch, which was a boutique agency that worked with purpose brands. So I was doing marketing, but also at the same time figuring out whether I really like it or not, whether it's making me like feel good about my life, am I satisfied, and figuring out the balance between earning a lot of money and also like feeling good about what you're doing, for me at least, I always given the kind of experiences I had in my undergrad with Enactus and with other social impact ventures, I realized that I want to do something that makes me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
I want to give back. And I feel like had I taken the decision to immediately get into a master's, I would have never even had that realization, right?
Right.
So my journey in those 3 years of college and 5 years after graduating was figuring out who am I as a person and what do I want. So, going into a job, then changing my job to also like stop chasing big brands. I worked in Ogilvy, but then realizing that just working in Ogilvy doesn't really
Doesn't
do
get
much.
you enough.
It
And many
doesn't
times, if
matter.
you are in
Yeah.
a large engine,
Yeah.
you get to play a very tiny role, and you actually
Exactly.
never get the full picture.
Exactly.
So I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So I feel like I actually learned more when I was working with this small agency. We were like a 10 people team, and I was working directly with the co-founders, and that's when I actually learned, like,
Right.
skills that I needed in real life. And that's what also allowed me to become an entrepreneur ultimately. And even taking that jump from being like, being into a job to becoming an entrepreneur, that's where I realized the value of networks and the value of really sort of building deep relationships. Because, and especially at business school, you hear the word networking all the time, like, to the point that you don't want to do it anymore. But my view of networking is building relationships with people and having a genuine sense of curiosity.
Right.
So that's what I did even when I was back in India, when I was working. And for me, I was able to co-found a company because I had access to a network that allowed me to bank on my relationships. I was part of Network Capital, which
All right.
is now in Oxford as well.
Okay.
Yes, he is a professor and he's completing his PhD here. So he founded Network Capital to solve exactly this problem of allowing people to network with people from different, sectors and experiences. And that's where I met, some of my best friends. That's where I met my co-founder. That's where I met some of my clients. So I think.
So you worked for 3 years,
Yeah.
Ugly Bee, and then
Yeah.
another, marketing company.
Yes.
And then after 3 years, you started your own social marketing venture.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about, what was the cause that you were working on, and how did you go about setting up that venture as well?
Okay, so my co-founder already had, so my company is called MASH, but it was started as a non-profit 10 years back. That's when I wasn't associated. But I always knew that I want to do something which is, something that I start myself.
Right.
And I met Ashish, who's, the co-founder. And at the time he was running as a non-profit. But this is when the entire landscape was changing a lot. This is when Facebook laid off a lot of employees, so there was a tech
Right.
slowdown. Then a couple of years later, USAID happened, so there was a global
Right.
funding gap. So both of us met and we realized that there's a lot of value in looking at social impact from the business lens, like from the for-profit lens. So I was bringing that experience, he was bringing the network, and we said that let's diversify MASH and let's set another company which is a for-profit company. So
Right.
what we had was already this huge network, because MASH was already at the time working working for like 7 years. So we had a huge network to rely on, and we knew that there's a gap in the industry of non-profits not being able to tell their story the right way. And like right now we're going through the largest wealth transfer in history. And because of that, the entire funding landscape is changing. So the way traditional philanthropies were funding, the newer generation is looking at it in a very different way. So that's when we realized that there's a huge market gap. I've already gained enough experience in marketing. I can just replicate that into the social impact sector. So we started with climate, gender, health, and education as our key focus
Wow.
areas. And we, sort of expanded from there. Yeah.
So guys, when you think of something like, impact, and you think, okay, I'm going to be running an NGO, I'm going to be teaching school children. It is, impact has got nothing to do with, what cliche we actually hear, right? You can actually take it to 100x scale by supporting so many more other people, doing great and just helping them tell their story. So
Yeah.
I think that just having that foresight and having that understanding of the ecosystem sets you up very uniquely as an individual who's very different from probably the 100 people around here, right? So I think that uniqueness really sets you apart from everybody else probably who's here at Oxford. So I think why I was wanting to go a bit deeper into your thought process of what you were doing, how you were planning your career steps. Guys, it is not about going and getting a BCG or a McKinsey on your resume. It's about getting exposure and clarity of why you are doing what. And if you have that, like Harshita shared, she has a genuine curiosity towards social impact. And I think that's translated into a beautiful experience that she's had. Really thanks, Harshita, for sharing that. Now, when you were picking your business school, you would have had multiple opportunities, multiple thoughts. Where all did you apply for? And why did you pick Oxford?
So I applied to LBS, Cambridge and Oxford, but I had my eyes set on Oxford for multiple reasons. The first being that University of Oxford is becoming a center of social impact and innovation. So I actually had the opportunity to visit business school before applying. and I spoke to so many alums who were doing really well already, and I realized that the kind of global exposure that we get here and the entire value that this business school brings is focused on systemic thinking and social impact, which is exactly what I wanted. So that's not to say that, I mean, in my cohort we're 333, we have people from like 60 countries, and we have people who are like, from the top consulting firms, BCG, McKinsey. We have people who were astronauts. We have people who were dancers. So we have a huge variety of people. And when I say social impact, I don't again mean it in the sense of like that's all we talk about here. But there's a entire value. And even if you look at the tagline of the business school, it's called Impact from Within. It's about how do you create impact in whatever you do. How do you like do better for the world? How do you do better for yourself? And how can you give back to the community that you're part of? So this is what really attracted me about Oxford.
Why did you pick UK as a country? Because all the schools you applied to were in UK.
Yeah. So because I wanted to do a 1-year MBA, and for my company, I'm looking at UK as a new market entry. So those were two big things, and I also feel there's a lot of like geopolitical scenario that is favoring UK-India relationship right now. So the free trade agreement, UK, the government has started something called the Center of Impact Economy. So for the work that I'm in, it made a lot of sense as well.
Made a lot of sense. And of course, you want to be expanding your presence here in the UK. It makes so much more sense. Being an Oxford alumni, probably you can enter any door in the UK, right? So that gives you like a superpower, especially in this ecosystem. Now, let's get into a bit more of the operational dynamics of getting this admission. Now, when you started thinking about going to these schools, you had these 3 schools shortlisted. You also got to visit these schools.
So if you like this content, please subscribe to our channel, and I will see you all in the next video.